Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily and I am a registered nurse working here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you are one of my returning subscribers, thank you. I've got my British passport. Yay! I'm gonna try and keep my voice down. I'm filming this at night. My boys are sleeping. My husband is still awake, but I'm trying to contain my excitement. So yes, today's video is going to be about my British passport, how I applied, how long it took to come through, and all the documents you need to apply. And if you are applying with your family, I've also got some information on what you need to consider when applying for your British passport. So please stay with me. So just a little bit of a background information about my immigration journey here in the UK. I came into the UK in 2014 January on a tier 4 student visa. So in 2016 I got my tier 2 skilled worker visa, on which I stayed for 5 years and then got my indefinite leave to remain last year, 2021 June. And then this year June, I applied for my naturalization, because once you get your ILR you get to stay on it for a year before you apply for a naturalization. The only exception to that rule would be if you were married to a British citizen, so you would still stay in the UK for 5 years on your dependent visa or your tier 2 skilled worker visa. But once you get your ILR, you don't have to stay on it for 1 year. You can just go immediately ahead and apply to get your naturalization. So September of this year I went for my swearing in, where I officially became a British citizen. And once that happened, you can decide at any time when you want to apply for your British passport. So from the time I did my naturalization to when I got my passport, it's been about two months, roughly 2 months. I just sort of forgot about applying for my British passport because I felt like I'm not traveling out of the UK anytime soon, so I don't really need the British passport. But at the same time, it's one of those things that it's on my to-do list and I needed to just do it so I can stop thinking about it. So yeah, we've done that now and I'm glad it's come true. Now I'm going to take you through the steps of applying for your British passport. Step 1. Inform whoever is going to be your referee. And because you've only just got your naturalization, you can still use the same person who was your referee during your naturalization. But say for instance you want to use different people for your British passport, please inform them before you start your application, because you need them to send you their full name as it is on their British passport. They need to send you their home address, their date of birth, their email address, and their occupation. Once you have all of these details for 2 of your referees, now we're going to move to step 2. Step 2 would be to get your passport photograph ready. To know whether you have the right size, quality of passport for your application, just go on UK.gov website, type in British passport application, start the process as if you are actually going to go through with the passport application. When you get to the point where they will ask you to upload a passport, you can use your phone to take a passport for your British passport application. If you have a camera, for instance, Canon camera or any fancy camera, you can use that to take a picture. The point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to go to a professional to take a passport you need for your British passport application. The only thing they need is that you keep to the specification as you will find on the British passport application website. Okay, you must make sure that your 2 ears are showing, your hair is not covering your face, you're not wearing glasses, the background has got no shadows, and it's white, plain white background. They will accept that. Okay, so you can play around with a couple of pictures that you have, just upload it in there. It brings up something that looks like a fuel tank. So it's got a red, amber and green. If you put the picture and it's just there but not really there, the clock hand will come to the fair. If you put the one that is completely not acceptable, it will just stay on the X to tell you this is not acceptable. It will stay on the red. If you put the one that meets all the specifications, the clock hand will just move all the way to green to tell you that yes, the picture you've put on is going to be accepted. Please feel free to play around on the website to just see what picture matches. As soon as you have your passport photograph ready, Now let's move to step 3. In this third part, this is where you now start the passport application proper. You just go on Google, type in British passport and follow the instruction. It is really straightforward. Okay, so you put in answers to all of the questions you're asking. When you get to the point of uploading your passport, which you don't have any problems with because you know the one they're going to accept, so upload the passport. Once they accept it, they're going to take you on to further questions until you get to the point where you need to provide information about your referees. And because you already have the information about your referee, you just put all of those in and then send it. When they receive the application you have made, the next thing they're going to ask you to do is to contact your referee so that they can then provide them with the information that they will need. The difference between your British passport application and your naturalization is that you don't have to send a physical document to your referee. The British Passport Office, they will be the ones to send a link to your referee, and when your referee open that link, then they will go through a list of questions that the office will want to know, just to confirm that they know who you are. So the information your referee is going to need from you will be your full name as it is on your passport. They will need your date of birth. They will need your address as well. And if you are applying with your children, the only additional information they will need is the place of birth of the children. In the email you will receive from the passport office, they will state it clearly that they are not going to receive any document from you until your referee have clicked on the link, filled out the form they need and send it back to them. That is the only time they will be able to receive your documents. And this takes us to step 4. This is where you send the requested documentations to the passport office. For myself, I sent my Nigerian passport and my naturalization certificate. And for my children, the only thing they requested was the naturalization certificate. But once they've received these documentations, they approved my one and approved my second son's passport. And then they contacted me to say that I need to send in my first son's birth certificate because anyone could be applying for their British passport. Therefore, they need to see something that can convince them that I am actually my children's mom. And I'm kind of asking myself, why do they want to see my first son's birth certificate when they have approved his brother's British passport application and also approved of my own? You know, it was really confusing. I had to call them immediately to kind of find out what exactly is going on. And then the gentleman I spoke to said to me that they should not have approved my second son's passport, that I should be sending the birth certificate of both of them. Because of work and other commitments, I didn't even get chance to send the documentation till like four days later. And within that 4 days, the passport came. They sent my British passport and sent my second son's passport, but they didn't send my first son's passport. So I had to ring their office again and said, the last time I spoke to you guys wanted to see the birth certificates of both of my children, but now I have the passport of my second son. What do you guys still want me to do? Are you still happy for me to send this, you know, birth certificate? And the guy I spoke to was like, no, that since I've received my second son's passport, I should just go ahead and send in the birth certificate for my first son, which I've done. I sent that a day before I'm making this video, so I'm keeping fingers crossed that in the next 1 week I should be receiving my first son's passport as well. Now the 5th step, if you are an adult, once you receive your passport, you have to sign it. Okay, so let me see if I can be able to show you guys where I signed mine. So there you go, guys. I don't think there is anything incriminating in what I'm showing you guys, but this is where I signed. You can see around there. So it's very mandatory that if you are above 12 years old, once you get your passport, you need to be signing it. Before I submitted my own passport, they mentioned that I might be invited for an interview to kind of prove my identity and to see that I am who I've told them I am. And what's interesting is the fact that I received my passport. No one called me for any interview. Whether or not they're still going to call me to schedule a video interview with me, I have no idea. So this goes to show that some people may be invited for an interview and others won't. I don't know how the criteria for, undergoing the interview. It could be probably if they find something that they don't really understand in the documentations you have sent to them, whatever will lead them to call someone for an interview. I'm not really clear on that, but they did say to me that I might be invited for an interview before my passport is issued, but at the end of the day I wasn't, so I guess that's a good thing. That is it. That's how I got my passport. And the exciting bit is that this is the end of my immigration, money spending, visa brouhaha. All of those things have ended for me, okay? Because this the passport is going to expire sometime in 2033, which gives me 10 years on it. And the other time anyone is going to be hearing from me doing anything that has to do with passport again will be when this one expires. Of course, if my Nigerian passport expire, unfortunately I still have to do something about that, because I cannot fly into Nigeria without my Nigerian passport. And the smooth process I've had with these guys doing my passport kind of throws a very sharp contrast when it comes to the Nigerian embassy and when they are processing your passport. The last time I dealt with them, it was really stressful, extremely stressful. And for every single person that have had to renew their passport here in the UK, they never have anything good to say about the Nigerian embassy. So I have no idea why that is the way it is, and I think that they seriously need to change the way they go about the process of working on people's passports. It's really heartbreaking, but then I digress. So to answer the question about how long it took for the passports to come through, 20 days. So applied on the 2nd of November and received the passport on the 22nd of November. The factors that would affect the duration of time between when you apply and when you receive it will greatly depend on how quickly you can get to your referee, how quickly your referee can complete the form on the link sent to them. If everything was done really sequentially, like if they sent the link to my referee and my referee was able to complete that form on the same day, and I was also able to send them the documentations they need on the same day, I think that the whole process will be less than 2 weeks. So the reason my one delayed like this was because I did not send all of the documentations I needed to send on time. I didn't send them as at when they requested. I sent them all at my own time. So if you are not in a hurry to get your passport from the time you apply, you would get it within 1 month. But if you need to get it within 2 weeks, it's very possible. And I sincerely hope that this video is helpful, that by sharing my process, another person who is about to apply for their British passport will at least know what to expect, especially when you're applying for children. Which also brings me to say that when you are applying with children, even if they don't request for it, I think right now I will be advising my friends with children to send their children's naturalization certificate with their birth certificate, okay? Because whatever you send to them, they will safely, fingers crossed, send them back to you, okay? And it's best to send these things once rather than them interrupting the process of printing out the British passport and asking you to send them something else before they can be able to finish the whole processes. Because if I had watched a video like this, I would have known that it would be helpful to send my children's naturalization certificate and also their birth certificate, which means that all of our passport would have just arrived on the same day. But no love lost. So this is me sharing my experience so that another person can as well learn from it. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and I hope you look after yourself. Take care. Bye now.